Hey, we're Saints. Father Chris here. Welcome to our Crucifixional Lifestream. Glad to have you beautiful people with us today. We've been talking about chaos. And one of the things that parents face that's totally chaotic is the application process to college. My oldest is applying to college. I'm in the middle of that chaos. Many of you probably felt that. Let me tell you. I mean, you've probably felt that when you went through with your own kids, but let me tell you. I went to college. It was nothing, the application process, nothing like what they deal with today. The stresses, the pressures. I mean, they're talking about things about early decision, which is different than early action, which is different than restricted early action, which is also different than restricted early decision, and also different than the normal application process. I don't even know what it all means. And I'm like, my kid's pulling her hair out. She's navigating it well, but I'm flipping out. My bride is doing much better than me, but I'm worried because, like, it's important that they get into the right school. You want them to study. You want them to learn things, to learn life, to build networks, to have, possibilities for career and future and all that kind of stuff. But really, if I'm honest, what I'm really worried about is my baby girl wants to go away. Now, what am I going to do when she's applying to college, going to get into a college and move to the other side of the country? How am I going to deal with that, right? Like, I'm going to miss the kid. Absolutely. I'm going to miss her. But again, if I'm being honest, what am I really worried about? I'm worried about her safety and well-being because she's not under my roof anymore. And I can't protect her anymore. And she's going to be walking, around, and she wants to go to the East Coast, this kid. So in the snow, in the cold, at night sometimes, back to her dorm room, and, it's pretty scary and cold. But it's pretty scary out there. I mean, and I feel helpless, right? And that helplessness is chaos in my soul. I mean, really, I'm just confessing it. I didn't even intend to do all this today, but it's just the brain dump is happening because it's a real chaos. And I'm sure that many of you who've had children go to college before me have already experienced this, and you know what I'm talking about. And so how do we get through that chaos? Because I'm happy for her, and I know the kid's going to rule the world. I mean, she's an amazing human being, and I'm not just biased. She's an exceptional human being, but I'm still nervous about it, and I feel chaotic. How do you deal with that? How do you get through that? And I think one of the things that I have to remember, and it is so important for all of us to remember, the business that we do as parents when we raise our kids, when we train them, is so essential because it will stay with them forever, right? You hear it in Proverbs. You guys know this, right? Train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it, right? I mean, train up a child in the way that he should go. Look, I have taught my girls to be, financially sound, so they're not frivolously spending. Hard workers, so they have a work ethic, so they can earn money that they want to spend. How to study, that work ethic that accompanies study and academics. Their social skills, their gentility with other people. I've also taught them morals and values that I expect they adhere to. And, especially in the world of college where sex and drugs and rock and roll and all that kind of crap is out there in abundance, and people and kids are experimenting because they're free now for a little bit, and they've got their own autonomy, and so they want to dabble in all the things that they maybe were prevented from partaking in high school and before. And we hear terrible stories. Those are my fears, right? But I realize I have taught my child the gospel to the best of my ability. I have taught both of my girls what it means to be a warrior saint, what it means to be crucifixional. And you know what? When I finally calm myself down and say, trust it. God said it. You've done your part. Now trust it. I know that when my beautiful girls go away to college, they will not depart from that way that we have taught them. I've given them everything I got, and now I'm trusting God that His Word is solid. And for us as parents, and some of you you may already be ahead of me in this sense, and some of you may still be behind me, to raise your children and to teach them the crucifixional life requires a whole bunch of things. But most importantly is that the cross is always at the tip of your tongue in your teaching to help you do that, so that as you raise your kids, visit warriorsaints.org. We got all kinds of stuff there. In fact, there's one program called Becoming Men, which we're working on even updating it. But this is to help our young fellas become solid and strong men. We have classes in the Way of the Warrior Saint, which is our flagship on demand class list where we teach the teachers to teach. It's so good. It's so fun. So if you're struggling with this chaos along with me, first, say a prayer for me. And second, join us on the way of the warrior saint. Love you, beautiful people. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to talk about limbo. And I'm not talking about a bar on the beach and the way you bend backwards. I'm talking about conquering the feeling of being in limbo. Until then, keep walking on the way of the warrior saint.